welcome back to episode 3. This one is something that I love to talk about, and I am so excited that you are here for this because today we are going to talk about how to get past distraction. This is something that I get asked all the time. I follow Jillian Johnson. I love her. I could be her best friend. She has no clue who I am, but that's okay. I mean, don't you feel like that sometimes, that people that you follow online and you follow their social media and you're like, we could be girlfriends. We could totally hang out together. Well, the great thing about Jillian, what she says is that for those of us that are ADD and know we have not been diagnosed, no, we don't need to be, you could just follow me around for a day and realize that I am. This is something that I'm so excited to share with you. So, couple different things. So, I have here now, if you are listening to this from the podcast app, you can definitely check this out afterwards. I'll leave some links in the show notes for you. But if you are watching on YouTube, you are about to see a couple little tools that I use and I really, really love. So, this first one is a little timer. So it has all these different numbers on it. So it has 60 minutes, 30 minutes, 15 minutes, 5 minutes, and it's just a little cube. And what you do is you put it to the time that you want. And then what happens is after that 60 minutes is over, the timer goes off. Now, here's the best part about this. You literally could use this for anything. If you are writing a blog post, if you are doing the dishes, you could use it for anything. If you're just like, listen, I'm just going to start. I'm going to give it 5 minutes, and then after that, I'm going to quit. But typically what happens is when you trick yourself into using something like this, well, not trick yourself into using this, but trick yourself into doing the task, you get 5 minutes in and you're like, oh, I'm almost done. I'll do it for 10 minutes more and be done with it. That is the great thing about this little cube, and I use it all the time. I love it. Found it on Amazon. You can check out my Amazon list on my website. I have a ton of these little gadgets and gizmos because I'm all about gadgets. I love them. Now, this other one is brand new. I just got it, which is why I still have the box. So for those of you that are not watching it on YouTube, this is called a time flip. It's this little tiny, like, I don't know if that's a hexagon. Probably should have paid attention more in geometry. But anyways, it's basically the same idea, except what's different about this one is that you have all these different little stickers that you can put on it. So I have found stickers from a couple of my favorite Etsy shops that I'm going to put on this because, listen, you got to make it cute, because if you don't make it cute, I'm not going to use it. And you, if you're anything like me, probably aren't going to use it either. But what's great about this is that it has an iPhone app, and who doesn't love a gadget that's hooked to an iPhone app? So what's cool is then you can track where you're spending all your time with just a quick flip. Get it? Time flip. So cool. So if this is something that you're interested in taking a look at, I definitely would check out that resource page under episode 3, because this is definitely a game changer. So those are a couple things that I use to help my brain, start on projects, get going with things. The other things that you can do to get past distraction is just focusing on one task at a time. I know as entrepreneurs, and I always tell this to parents too when their children are all over the place, I'm like, oh, that person's going to make a great entrepreneur, because entrepreneurship is like dodgeball. Like there's so many things coming at you and you got to bob and weave and make sure you get everything done at the same time. But for me, really the game changer, and this is one of the steps in my Get Clear process, is writing everything down in one spot. So I, of course, have a cute notebook. This is an Erin Condren one. She has tons of designs, but I love this one. And it's just a standard notebook, but you literally could use a notebook from anywhere. Like, it doesn't have to be cute. If you're not into that sort of thing, it could just be like a 3-subject notebook from Walmart or Target or someplace. But what I love about this is it's a place for me to write everything down. So everything that's floating around in my head that needs to find a home, needs to find a place for it to live so I can actually get that task done and broken down, it goes in my notebook. And this seems so simple, but aren't some of those the best ideas when they're so simple? You're like, seriously, that was a light bulb moment for me. And I know that, there's so many things that I talk to people and I'm like, you're so smart. Why didn't I think of that? And it's just because sometimes simple is better. So you definitely want to start with a big brain dump. And if you're not familiar with what that term is, it can be called different things, but essentially it's just emptying out your head. So anything that you are thinking about, anything that takes up space in your head, any of those tasks that you do every day. Now, here's something that I created. So this might be an option for you. It's really kind of changed the way that I do things, because for most of the time, I do the same things every day or on certain days of the week. So this is what I created. So basically, for those of you on the podcast app, basically it's a list of everything that I do every day. And so it has different check marks, and they're all color coded because I love a good color code. So there's those ones, and then I have some on the back too. So I have 17 categories. So if you feel like, oh my gosh, my list would be forever, it probably would be, but at least this helps you break things down so it's easier for you to track time. So you could track time manually, the old-fashioned way. You could write it down in your planner if you have an hourly planner. Sometimes that's what I do when I'm tracking on how much things take. I also use this little guy, my little timer cube, so don't forget about that guy. That is a really easy way to track it. And then the best part is that you can go back and look at this and you can see where you're spending your most time. Are you spending a ton of time on social media and you know that you are just endlessly scrolling, you're not posting, you're not working on content, you're not doing those sorts of things? These things can really help you get a handle on it. Whether you go old school and go pen to paper and create your list and assign colors to it with highlighters, or you go the more fancier route with the time cube, whatever you prefer, it's completely up to you. But this will be a game changer in getting your distractions under control and getting you to get more done every day. I mean, that's really what this is all about, is to complete those projects so you can move on to other things. It's just a freeing sensation when you're like, listen, there's nothing hanging out in my head anymore. Everything's on paper. I know where everything is at, and I can find it when I need to.